transportation, which is
You
the
can
buses.
choose.
Also, there's 3 different.
Yeah, well, they give you you choose, but you don't always get what you're gonna get.
Yes.
You know, so they give you like a wish list,
Right.
and then you can say, hey, I want to work CJ, I want to work Towers, IRC, whatever, or I can work the courts. You choose, and then wherever they need you, wherever they put you based on where you live and demographics, then they kind of throw you that
Where
way.
did you go?
I ended up going to Wayside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Supermax.
Yeah. How was your
I
experience?
was
Minimum.
I was at North.
You're a North.
Yeah, I was at North. I worked a little bit at East, but North was where I did my time, and I was only there for 2.5 years.
Only, huh?
Yeah,
A lot of overtime. They
dude.
say when you work the jails, there's a lot of overtime, but then
There's
when
a
you come
lot-
out on the streets, it's like no overtime.
There's a lot of overtime everywhere, especially now. But it goes in like everything else. You know,
Yeah,
when
it
you have a
phases.
lot of people, there's not a lot of overtime. But in the jails, there's a lot of overtime. In the streets, when I got out there, was a lot of overtime. And when you're new, there's a lot of overtime because you're putting in extra hours. You're getting hammered by the radio box and calls and whatnot. You're taking everything. So, yeah, I did 2.5 years at North.
How was that for you? Was the culture shock for you when you first started working there, or was it just another day at the office?
I mean, it definitely was a shock, you know. But at the end of the day, you get trained in the academy to kind of phase that out. You get trained to see certain things on videos. You do tours. You're going through a training that exposes you to that. So it's not a shock at the beginning when you get there. You have to put up a front at the end of the day because you can't expose weakness.
So how is it? Because you see a group right here in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
And you named a few neighborhoods that that you used to deal with as growing up in the schools districts and stuff. Now you're in Wayside, and you had to know somebody there, some
Oh,
gang
yeah.
member there. It's just like, dude, did you just avoid them, or did you be like, "What's up, homie?" Like, because
Yeah.
a prisoner will attract to somebody that they know,
Yeah.
even if it's a cop to try to flip you,
Yeah.
to see if you can do stuff for them.
Yeah.
I mean, so how do you see it on the other side?
Yeah, so I didn't run into anybody until a little bit later, which was a guy that I knew. But it's a big. LA County is the biggest sheriff's department in the nation. So we house a lot of inmates, and we have several facilities. So I worked a small facility where somebody had to go through there or whatnot. And sometimes I don't, maybe I don't recognize them. People look different in uniforms, and so I did run into somebody that I used to play baseball with. He was doing some warrant stuff. He was a trustee. I ran into him. And we hugged it out. I took him to the side. I said, "You need anything? You need some double ups? You need a blanket or whatnot?" No, man. At the end of the day, people are people. People are human.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and there are policies, there are violations that you can get in trouble as a deputy sheriff. If you interact with somebody in certain ways. But to know somebody or whatnot is not bad, or to do whatever. But obviously, to do favors in different ways or bringing in different things that people can get caught up in. Obviously, legal stuff not good.
Now,
so.
getting back to the training part,
Yes, sir.
no disrespect to you, but deputy, but do they train you guys to be assholes?
They do.
Let's keep it 100, homie. Let's keep it 100.
Yeah.
Do they train you guys just to be assholes? Because I heard that part about you saying show no weakness.
It's not an asshole mindset. It's a safety aspect. Okay, so they train you that certain things can kill. There's like 10 commandments.
Okay.
Your hands are number one, right? Always make sure you're visual with the hands. Your presence, verbal judo, talking to people. So there's a lot of different things to do. And the number one thing is I need to go home, right?
Yes.
And I need to go home. This is a job that I'm getting paid for to do, right? To keep the community safe. And so at the end of the day, they teach you to stay safe at whatever measures. Okay, so if that comes off like an asshole to somebody, unfortunately it is. Listen, at the end of the day, there's good people, there's bad people. There's people that have verbal judo, that have good presence, that keep themselves well fit, and that have a good mind and are good people. And then there's the ones that are assholes, plain and simple. Did I deal with them on the job? Absolutely. Shit, there was a racist cop that was one of my partners at one time. But that's a good question. It may come off like that, and I believe that one of the reasons I'm here also is to understand that there's a communication barrier, and this is the reason why it's us versus them and whatnot. And it's not us versus them. A cop is there to serve the community, serve people that live in that community, and at the end of the day, hopefully the community sees it like that. But there's a small percent of people that are in that neighborhood, whether it be gang members, whether it be thugs, whether it be whatever the fuck it may be, that are causing havoc. And you don't know, because there's not a persona. If I look at you, I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are until I realize that you're not that person. So I need to handle that situation in a certain way.
Yeah.
And if it comes off being an asshole, I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, right? I'm sorry I fucking hurt your feelings. But at the end of the day, I'm going home and you're not getting shot. You know? But you know, those were the days back then too.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
You know,
I was there in
now
the
you can't
90s.
even fucking say anything. And then what? You don't say anything and then somebody's getting hurt.
Yeah,
That's
I remember,
where we're at right now.
My dorm got raided, and I was in the shower. They pulled me out fucking butt naked
they don't give a shit.
in
Oh,
December
yeah.
outside on the yard in December, and it's cold up there in Wayside in
Yeah,
December.
they got no
Yeah.
mercy,
No,
homie.
I don't know.
They
So
got no
he-
mercy
Where-
over
where
there.
were
Like
you
I was
at?
at the 714 Supermax.
Oh,
And,
Supermax.
and
yeah.
I was up on the tier, and the fucking raid, the fucking you guys came running in, fucking dragged my like, let me put my boxers on there, like get the fuck out, like fuck.
Hey, after
Around what time, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it was around 4:35.
No, I'm sorry. What years?
Oh, that was 94.
Yeah. I mean, things have changed. You know,
Oh,
I
yeah,
joined in
for sure.
98. So at the end of the day, you know, that's not happening now, as far as I know, right? Because, and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. At the end of the day, I think we talked about
Yes.
it. You know, the ACLU is there to do a job, right? For that. And certain laws are there to protect the civilians and whatnot. But also at the end of the day, as we both know, times have changed. You can't even fucking spank your own kid.
Yeah.
So if you can't put hands, and I'm not saying go beat people down, but if you can't handle certain things and demand certain respects, then what ends up happening is the other fucking side starts to take advantage of that.
emboldened.
Plain and simple. So
They get emboldened.
yes.
Now, I think the issue that a lot of people have, and you kind of touched on it right there. You said you had a racist partner.
yes, sir.
Um,
Racist guy that I worked with. at
racist
one time.
tendencies,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
In the regular world, people feel, and I'm not saying myself, but I'm saying people feel that, oh, you got a racist guy, you should record him, you should report him, you should sit there and find a way to get him fired.
Yeah.
But how does that work if when you have a guy in there that damn, this guy's got some racist tendencies? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, well, you said it perfectly. In the real world, right? In the real world, law enforcement is a hierarchy. It's a paramilitary organization, right? Let's just turn the facts really quick. You were in a gang, right?
Yes.
And if you were the new guy, you think you're gonna step up to the OG?
No, you're getting
No,
sucked
never.
up.
You're not gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing. And I'm not relating it to a gang, but
No,
what I'm
yeah.
saying is it's a job. You're the new guy. I was a new guy at that point. This guy had been
There's
there
a chain
little
of
bit.
command.
There's a chain of command.
chain of command.
And so if I expose this guy at that point or do something about it, did I say something to my training officer? Yeah, absolutely. He knew it already, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knew who this guy was and kind of deal like some of the guys. But yeah, there's a hierarchy. And so you play the game. You have to, it's it's called a tradition of service for a reason. There's a hierarchy. There's a game you play to get off training to be one of the boys kind of deal.
Yeah.
So,
So now let's talk about being one of the boys. When you first came out, after the county jail, where did you start patrolling? What areas?
yeah, so I went out to Linwood area.
Okay.
Linwood, Willowbrook, Firestone, Huntington Park.
That's
that
a
was
hard
original.
area. Man.
That was a good area. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good area. It's
A
a
lot of action.
lot of action, a lot of good people too, man. A lot of really good people. It's a really good area. We patrolled just outside LAPD's area, which was, you have 5 different projects down there. You have the Imperial Courts, you have the Jordan Downs, you have the Pueblos, you have like 2 other ones down there, and so it was hot. It was pretty cool. It was a good area because there's a lot of good that you can do, and there's a lot of action for sure.
Now,
You're not.
It's not a boring day.
It's not boring day.
but and there's some guys like like yourself back then. There's some guys that are looking for action, and is there guys in the sheriff's department that even though they're the same age that don't want any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. We call them slaps. People that just want to, want a paycheck, want to go home, want to work overtime.
Give out parking tickets.
Yeah, parking, whatever they want to do, man. But there's people that want to make a difference at the end of the day, and there's people that the shit follows them as well, right?
Well, and that's one thing we spoke about a few weeks or months back, whatever it was, and we were speaking about that. But I got the impression it's almost, I mean, let's be honest, Deputy, it's a lot of like the gang kind of culture, right? You get the guys who are just the regular members, which would be in a hood, it'd just be the homie that just sells the opus with the girls. And then you got the guys who are the gangbangers. The guys are out there putting in work, taking care of business. And it seems like, some of the sheriffs which end up joining these cliques, and I believe you were part of one of those cliques, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, those are the guys that are putting in work. Yes or no?
Yes,
And when I say putting in work, what do you take it as?
they were working hard to try to make a difference in the community, to bring bad people to jail, and to make sure that the community is safe, that we're making this a better place, and that the people that are putting in work, like gangsters, that are going to jail, right? Look, at the end of the day, nobody wants an innocent person shot. Okay? Nobody wants, when we grew up back in the day, there was, Dodger bats, right?
Yeah, right.
There was chains, there was iron, right?
Yeah.
That's how, and hands and fists, and you threw down. Okay, cool. You want to handle business, handle your business. Is it right? Is it not? Whatever. But now there's guns, right? As soon as the 90s kind of started and drive-bys.
It escalated.
And you know what? At the end of the day, there's families that live in those neighborhoods. There's people and innocent people. And that's the reality. And so putting in work, what you're calling a clique, what I'm calling is hardworking people or deputies or hardworking law enforcement officers, because it just doesn't, see, the media only throws down deputy. That shit exists. Tattoos exist in so many different avenues in the LAPD, in the Burbank. Like every law enforcement officer agency has tattoos.
Yes.
Right? Throughout the nation.
Yes.
Okay. There's a video of some on YouTube about some police department, and they actually are called the Jump Out Boys. Okay. And there's like a song, and they're singing, and they're in uniform, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And it's in some other state. Okay. So why is it happening here? Why is LA County sheriffs being attacked, right? As deputy cliques, as subcultures, or as deputy gangs that they call it.
Well, I think. Well, first of all, let me tell you this. Believe it or not, this Cholo, we're pro police. Like we're pro police as far as, you guys are very much in the community. I'm never one of those guys that would sit there and say defund the police, which they were saying 3 or 4 years ago. Now you got the same politicians that were saying we need more police. Our crime has gone up. Well, because you need a balance, and I'm all for that. Right. With the deputy sheriff thing, and the reason this podcast is going on today is because of the latest rule that they want to see the tattoos.
Correct.
In other words, show me your tattoos, Holmes.
Yeah, that's right.
I say this, deputy. When I see pictures like this,
yeah,
I see if I didn't see the guy wearing a sheriff uniform right there, which we'll talk about him in a minute. Here you go.
They look like the Beastie Boys, no?
No, you guys there, which is the deputies, look like gang members in the late '80s. That's exactly what that picture looks like. Would I be wrong for assuming that?
No, I mean, a picture can tell something without explanation, for sure, right? That you look at that picture and it can say, hey, that's what they look like, right? But there's a lot of things behind something else, right? If we believe what's out there in the news sometimes also,
right.
If we're just looking at it, shit, we all got duped with COVID. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying COVID was a real thing, but we got fucking scared, right?
Yes.
So at the end of the day, if we're following and just looking at the news or looking at a picture and not doing further detail behind it, you want to ask me questions about that picture, we can further explain what's going on and stuff.
Absolutely.
But that's what I'm saying is you're 100% right. We can all look at somebody just as people say, hey, you guys are profiling. Cops are profiling.
Yeah.
What do you think we do? You think we just fuck it? Yeah, of course we look at tendencies.
Yeah,
It's called tendencies. How are you driving? What are you doing? Why are you looking at me in a certain way? Why did you make a left right now? Why did your hand come out of the car door really quick? While you turned, did you drop something? Did something fly out? Is that a baggie or is that so and so? So I'm going to stop you to find out.
You're policing. That's policing.
Right. So it's policing. So what I'm saying is that there's a picture for sure, and sometimes there's stuff that's out there on the media and what we hear, but people need to take a step back and that's why I'm here actually, right? To try to further explain a little bit. And I'm not trying to back up certain things, but what I'm trying to do is just tell you, like I said, the truth, my experiences, and sometimes the way it is. So.
Well, but to me, it's almost this. It's almost like we're putting the mirror to you guys now and doing the same thing that you guys did to the community.
There you go.
That's what's going on right now. So in other words, just like you pulling up on some guy who may not be a gang member, and let's say let's say 99, right? You're pulling up on some youngster, but he's still got the bald head, he's got the big pants, he's got the tramos, he got the whole look, and you go up to him and he's like, man, I'm not a gang member. Why are you pulling me over? Well, when you've got the tattoos, you've got the whole group of sheriffs throwing up, which looks like hood signs. You guys are clicking up together. Walk like a duck, talk like a duck. You're gonna get treated like a duck.
Right.
So I believe that, me personally, I believe that the sheriffs, the guys who are there now, should show their tattoos, because it's like anywhere else. You're working for the sheriff's department, which is highly around gang members, drug dealers, all kind of crime and stuff. So if somebody who's working in that kind of department isn't going to show some tattoos of his body, who knows? This guy might be a gang member. It might not even be that tattoo.
Yeah.
So to me, as a citizen, I would say, what do you got to hide? If it's really not a gang, if it's really nothing like that, what do you got to hide? What say you?
Yeah, because it's taken out of proportion. You almost don't have a voice. Okay, but let's keep it real. The definition of a gang member is 3 or more in conjunction.
There was about 8 in that picture.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Ocho. There's 3 or more in conjunction with criminal activity.
Okay, 3 or
Okay?
more.
So nobody says that you can't. If you and I had a tattoo and we were brothers and we had a family crest, or all 3 of us we have the family crest, does that make us a gang? Absolutely not. It makes us brothers, right? It makes us, we have a same tattoo based on our last name or whatnot. If we go commit a crime, can it be, per definition, say that we were a gang? And can they charge us with that? Absolutely they can, okay? Now, what I'm saying is that the tattoo by itself or the tattoo in conjunction with 20, 30, 100 people is not a gang unless you're doing something wrong. Now, is there gang style stuff that is going on in all law enforcement with people that either have tattoos or don't have tattoos? Absolutely. Okay? Yes. But to say that everybody that has a tattoo is in a clique, in a gang, deputy gangs, or this is unfair, is what I believe. Okay?
The way I see it is, I got pulled over maybe about 5-6 years ago, and they labeled me as a gang member. I was coming out of a liquor store. You know, I seen gang unit across the street. I said, "Oh,
Well,
man."
you
So
are
I
a
put
gang. You are a gang.
So, no, let me get to my point. You're gonna make me forget.
Wait a minute.
Make me forget, right? So, you know, I was coming out with the 12-pack of beer. So I started thinking of the law. I threw my 12-pack of beer inside the trunk. Got in. They pulled me over like that. That's where'd you pull over? They were like, the way you look. I'm like, all right. So, okay, I understand that. You know, but then they went further and pulled off my shirt. Like, take off your shirt. They want to take pictures of my tattoos. So me seeing that you guys are doing it to yourselves now, it's kind of like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I get that.
you guys can do it to me. So, but now why are you guys getting mad when we do it to you?
Right.
You know, we meaning the people of, you know,
Right.
pushing up
The
on
community, the
on
citizens.
Yeah,
citizens
I mean,
pushing up.
I totally
You know,
understand.
So why are you guys getting mad when you guys do it to me?
Absolutely. I totally understand your point of view. I totally understand where you're coming from, when you guys are coming from,
Yeah.
and seeing it a different way. And that's the disparity that I think that the communication that the community and then law enforcement doesn't see it. The way that law enforcement sees it, coming from that arena where I used to work, is we see it as a brotherhood in regards to, hey man, you've worked hard, you've done a lot of good, you're out here, you're busting your ass, you're making this community, this sheriff's station look really good, and so you deserve this tattoo. You earned something, just like
Just like a gang member,
Just like-
right?
There you
deserve
go.
that tattoo.
So,
So,
no, so
No,
I-
look,
and that was my-
so
that
it
was-
happens in the military.
No, that
it
was my-
happens
that was-
it happens in college.
That was
you
my
earn certain
question.
things.
I was gonna ask you. How do you become? What do you like to call it? The brotherhood, the clique, like
No, I to be honest,
you see, it's hard to
yeah.
talk about this without actually referring it to like
to a gang.
to like the hood. Yeah,
Yeah.
you want to be part. In other words, he does say he's been working for it. Do I come up to him and say, "Hey man, you want to be part of the clique, Holmes?" Okay, how did you get approached to eventually become part of one of these cliques?
yeah, exactly the same way I just said it. They said, hey man, we see that your arrests are up. You're top 10 in bringing in gangs and arrests, dealing with gangsters. You're doing good. You put in your work. You've done time. Obviously, that out here you have experience. You're a leader in the department, and we'd like to offer you the tattoo that signifies hard work. I mean,
And there's a certain tattoo that a certain group of people use.
correct. Yeah, yeah. Certain stations have certain tattoos
Yes.
that signify whatever they want. Okay,
And what if you would have said no?
no problem.
They would have never fucked with you again.
No, they maybe they asked me another time or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like you don't get it and you get treated a certain way.
Yeah,
you know?
that's what I was aiming
One
at.
of the biggest problems that I want to bring up is that some of the people that are actually talking and doing some stuff are the ones that don't have the tattoo,
Mhm.
right? That never got offered the tattoo or whatever. They're haters at the end of the day. You know why? Because they're exactly the way we were talking about earlier. The slaps, the people that just want to write tickets. Those fucking people. You guys should be mad at those people because at the end of the day, protecting this community here are the hardworking guys. The guy that sees, look, a good cop is the one that pulls up to a car that stopped right in front of your loc, Okay, the two guys that all of a sudden duck down and whatnot. The other cop that doesn't have the tattoo is a cop that keeps going and goes, all right, fuck it. You know what? They're not paying me enough. That guy's whatever. He's parked okay. See you later. And then they come and burg your house with shotguns and shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I see it. But I understand the way the
Yes.
community and people see it, and also gangsters that have tattoos and have a signal, like a tattoo or a signal that identifies them.
But there is very tight cliques. There is also there is a blowback to guys who don't and start. You guys call them rats. I think there was a guy in I think Linwood or something in towards that area that a couple years ago ended up quitting the department because he went and told his superior officer, "Hey man, these guys are doing this. These guys are doing that." He, in other words, became the whistleblower, and soon enough, he was ostracized. This guy is no longer part of the clique, and he had to quit because now the same deputy cliques are now pushing up on this guy. Does that happen?
Shit, that happens in life, brother. Whistleblower for the government
Very
that now
true.
is living in another country,
Very true.
right? It happens with gangs. You got to snitch. What do we say? Snitches and bitches end up in ditches. It happens everywhere. You're at a job, you call in late and you show up late, and this guy's supposed to cover, and he tells the boss, "Hey, fuck you." Now you. So it's just a natural reaction of a human thing. It doesn't matter whether it happens with the sheriff's,
This
LAPD,
is true.
or any other
So
situation.
in these clips,
It's not ostracized based on like, oh, you're not part of the brotherhood. That's just normal life, right? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But is this part of the things that happens in the city? I want to say this happened in the mid 2000s. It was that this is why Tanaka went to prison, which was the undersheriff, which is part of one of the cliques. He's actually one of the pictures I showed you. Vaca also went to prison. This is the scary part of the cliques. When they had that one federal informant in the county jail that the feds put in there to tell him about the sheriff's department, and the sheriffs found out he was a federal informant, this guy was lost in the system for like 7 weeks. And every time the feds would come in there look for him, hey, where's so-and-so? Well, he's not in the system. He's not in the system. And I forgot what code word they all used. And at the end, it was like 20 sheriffs that ended up getting indicted for this.
Correct.
Now, when you got 20 sheriffs hiding a federal witness, that's mob stuff, man.
Right.
That by that time, now you guys are doing something for the greater good of the clica.
Correct.
Were they not?
One of the guys that you're talking about definitely had a tattoo, which was Tanaka. Okay. But Baca and most of the other guys, they did not. Okay. So they were acting in a criminal manner. They got caught. They definitely tried to fucking save their own asses from the top to the undersheriff, right? And you have to understand that during that time, Tanaka was going for Sheriff Baca's job.
Yes.
Okay. And so it was a political year. It was a political, right? This is what's happening. And we all know how politics get, right? Meaning you start battling,
It's dirty.
well, start blaming people, right? Tanaka was blaming Baca. Baca was blaming Tanaka. At the end of the day, they're the top horses on the fucking sheriff's department. And they're both going down, right? Because nothing goes without them knowing, right? That they're the ones calling the shot. One of the guys had a tattoo and one of the guys didn't. So you really can't put it on, on a subculture, on a clique, on a deputy gangs or whatever.
So you can just put it on the whole sheriff's department.
No, you can put it on those guys for sure, right? Look, there was that beating that happened. Was it in Minnesota? There's 5 black guys.
Oh yes.
remember?
Yeah, about 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was all on
They
video.
killed him.
They killed him.
Yes.
That was horrible.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I don't know if those guys had tattoo or not, but that was a group right there with a killer mindset, right? With a mindset of vengeance, with a mindset of like we're gonna fuck this guy up. That's a gang, whether they have a tattoo or not. That's a criminal activity of 3 or more people in conjunction with criminal activity that they're doing right there. The guy stepped back, got his breath, and came back and kicked somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not for any of that stuff. I do respect the tattoo. And I'll say it right here, and I've said it before. I don't have anything against that. I think everybody at any point that's earned something should get a tattoo, okay? Or whatever you want to get, right?
But do you think the community should be able to know about that? Because it's part of your work. So I mean, me as somebody from the community, I would think, what if it's not? What is the problem? And just like when you guys pull up on somebody, show me your tattoos. What's the problem? If you got nothing to hide, okay, this guy.
Do you think the community should know about
I think the
gangsters?
I think.
You're like, hey, I'm here. I live at the so-and-so address. Come on.
Well, not the address. I just think that there should be a file that says, all right, this guy's part of this clique. This guy's part of this clique.
What does that matter?
It matters because
Because in your mindset, you think that they're bad.
Oh, let me ask you this then. Do you guys or did you guys, when you were in the sheriff's department, if you got into a shootout, would you guys celebrate that? Would that give you points in the clica?
Okay, let me answer it this way. Yes, you would celebrate it. You know why?
Tell me, please.
Yeah, I have 3 dates on the back of my back. Okay, those are my alive dates. Those are the days that I went to battle with a guy who pulled a gun on me or threatened my life in a certain way while trying to serve the public. One of the guys was a wanted. He had a wanted murder 187 out of Palmdale, and he was in Compton slinging dope with a strap. He ran, came back, doubled back, and we started blasting. Okay. Do I celebrate it? Absolutely, 110%. And so does everybody else. And you know what? So should everybody else that gets in a shooting, because you just celebrated that you were alive, not that you did something wrong to this person or that you killed the person. Okay. That was your job. Your job is to do your job and to go home and to serve the public. And at the end of the day, that situation occurred and I celebrate life. So those are what we call alive dates. Okay. Unfortunately, same thing. Like I always talk about communication. People take it, you're celebrating because you killed this guy or because this happened. That's not the way it is, brother. That's not the way it is. If you got into some incident and you fought against somebody you're protecting, somebody comes in here, you're gonna celebrate. You might get a beer, call the homies, and fucking say hey, and they're gonna give you a hug.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
We if we bust on somebody or if we just beat somebody up, we celebrate. So we just bust on this fool. Let's keep it 100.
For sure on that too.
Are we not?
For sure on that too.
course,
For sure.
But
For sure.
Do you guys? This is what I believe. Listen, I believe the majority of sheriffs and police officers are there doing a job that most people just don't have the balls to do. They go there day in and day out.
Thank you. I
and
appreciate
put their
that.
lives on the line, and their families don't know if they're coming home. That's just a reality. That's why I gotta respect it, right?
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of times that after hanging around so much on the calle, you guys start picking up that lingo. You have to almost pick up that mentality.
Yeah.
And that mentality sometimes, starts making you kind of like, fuck that. If they mess with one of us, they mess with all of us. But like almost like in a gang mentality.
Look, 100%, 100. You are who you hang around with.
Yes.
Right. And you are a culture of that. Okay. In order to be the best deputy or the best gang deputy, you have to have that lingo. Like, hey, ¿qué pasó? ¿Qué onda? What are we talking about? You have to earn that trust. There is a line, and it's a fine line, but it just doesn't happen in law enforcement. It also happens to military. They go out, they go into battle, they come back, they have PTSD, they can't let it go. They don't know what to do. They're dealing with that. Okay. But there's, stockbrokers. They go, they deal with money, all this stuff. Then they don't have any money, they lose it. They're unable to deal with not having money, right? Because you're in that lingo, you're in that world or whatnot. So, like I said, it just doesn't happen here, right? It happens in human beings in general, depending on where you're working at. But for sure, there are those people that get that mob mentality. I know people that are in jail right now. As you can see, some of those guys are in jail for doing some stupid shit. And I know other people that I worked with that are in jail that were slinging dope or bringing burritos with fucking dope into some, into the jails or whatnot, facilities. So it's a fine line. If you act like that and you start behaving like that and doing those things, yep. Does it happen? Absolutely. Are there the people that cross that line or are right there and act like that to create the good cops that stay and hold that line? Absolutely too. So
how do you differentiate who's who? Because I was doing my research and there's between 21 and 24 cliques within the LA Sheriff's Department.
Yeah.
And I even read that since 1970 that these cliques have killed 40 inmates.
Yeah.
And they were all of color. And now I understand, like, within the 90s, they started, hiring a lot of Latinos and blacks, but, like, how do you differentiate? Like, say if you get transferred from, you're in South Central,
Yeah.
and you get transferred to East LA.
Yeah.
Now, there's two different cliques.
Correct.
Now, is that clique going to be like, what's up, fool? Like when I come into North Hollywood, am I going to get, you going to get set tripped on? Or is it kind of like, okay, well, now you got to join us and click hop?
No.
Like how does that work?
Yeah. No, that's a good question. No, you earn your bones or whatever. You get asked to get a tattoo for your hard work of the station that you were trained at. Mm-hmm. So if I trained at a certain station and I did well there or whatnot, then you would get asked to get the tattoo. Now, within your job, you're going to move along. You're going to promote maybe. Mm-hmm. You're going to go to different units or whatnot. Nothing. You just look at him like, oh, that guy's from that station. Cool.
Yeah.
It's no big deal. Everybody, SWAT team members or whatnot, they're all from different stations, where it be Lennox, Century, East LA or whatnot. So there's no like, hey, you're not from part of us or nothing like that. It's just you basically know where they came from.
You earned your bones.
Yeah, over there at that station. You worked hard. That means that you're a hard worker.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that work certain units have a tattoo. If you're in the sheriff's department, you went up and moved up and you're working K9, SWAT, narcotics, gangs, all that stuff, that means you worked hard. If you worked Malibu off training, unless you're, I don't know if you're getting a surfboard or some shit.
No, fool, that's a mean ass clica. That's the Beach Boys right there.
Malibu's most wanted, homie. Haven't you heard of that?
You know.
That's
so,
the Beach Boys right
but you're not
there.
going to move up in the department
Yeah.
because you haven't experienced certain things, taking homicides, shootings. It's just not happening over there, And so at the end of the day, the more experience you're exposed to, the higher the job of action that you're going to get in the department.
Believe it or not, I actually supported Villanueva on his re-election, right? Because I'm the guy that believes, you got to hold the line. You really do.
Yeah.
You can see crime going crazy right now with all the rules that they're letting go. But I think that Villanueva dropped the ball when it came to this discussion that we're talking about, because him as the sheriff, I mean, you at least are admitting that this is happening. You're obviously not saying they're a gang, but he kind of just dismissed it like, no, guys,
It's not there.
It's
Yeah.
not there. It's not happening. Why are you guys even talking about them? And I'm like, come on, you're a guy who has the balls to talk about stuff that other people don't. You talk about politicians, you talk about cleaning the streets, but when it comes to your own department, it's like, to me, I feel like you just want to look the other way.
You wanted him to say yes.
I wanted to say there is an issue in our.
You would have liked him because of that.
No, I still voted for the guy.
Right. No, but I'm saying if he would have said that, you would be like, that's badass.
Yeah.
He's admitting. Let's
Yeah.
move forward. I trust this guy.
I would have
He's so-and-so.
respected him much more, and I believe that there would have been other people that would have respected him much more. I think that was his Achilles heel, that he couldn't sit there and say, listen, there is a problem in our department. We're getting into it. We're investigating, and not just simply say it doesn't exist, because the rest of the community is saying you guys are just killer gang members. There's people that feel that way,
Yeah.
right? There's people that feel that the sheriff's department is just gang members, they're killers of this, even LAPD, all kind of police departments, right? But they're the same people that are not going out there putting their lives on the line to protect the city.
Yeah.
But I just think that Villanueva really dropped the ball on that.
Well, he's in politics. At the end of the day, his
different
position is an electoral one.
Right.
He's the highest paid elected official. Like, he gets paid more than the president at the end of the day. And so that's a political position at the end of the day, whether he's the sheriff or not. And so his political answer is just like any political person. They're not going to answer it. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately,
Yeah.
he just didn't want to go open that door. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Everybody comes in doing differently. Obviously, this other sheriff that came in, his agenda was to do this, right? But he's violating a lot of shit that you can't open up. You can't force somebody to show a tattoo. You cannot do that. That's a constitutional amendment. You can show them a picture and say, hey, do you have this on your body? But you cannot have them show you physically their leg, their arm, so and so.
So I could have said
you
no.
cannot force.
I could have been like, hell no.
You have to. That'll go.
You could have said no.
Yeah, they would have beat me up.
Well, the last
No,
time
but
I can't beat you guys up.
No, that's in the workplace though. That's not outside of the workplace.
but if you're not breaking the law, you don't.
I wasn't breaking-
They tried to do that to me a few years back. I said no, I'm not showing you shit. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
But there is a problem. This is not even with the clicks. Let's say, right? There is a blue shield in like the LAPD. That's what they call it, right? When I got my shit jacked and my phone and all that stuff, dude, there was like 4 or 5 cops. They all fucking know what happened. They know these fools pressed up on me. They thought I was a gang member. They thought I was doing all kind of crazy shit. And they sat there and literally fucking stole my phone. And there was 4 other cops there. And all of a sudden, all their cameras were turned off. I'm like, wait a minute, man. That's the shit that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
One, it happened to me. And 2, it shows, I'm like, wait a minute. These guys have the balls to sit there and take my shit. Why wouldn't they have the balls to plant stuff like that? So
Right.
how do you combat that in a system where it is, if anybody's a whistleblower? Because you guys would call that, if somebody would have came out of that LAPD department from Van Nuys, right, would have came out and said, hey, yeah, this guy has a phone. That guy would have got fucking use a rat, use a
Right.
snitch. Even though I was released within a couple hours, there was nothing, no charges, no nothing. How do you break that from the cycle of policing?
It's hard, man. To be honest, that's exactly what I'm trying to do now with what I do now. is to build a better relationship of letting go of the ego. It's an ego. It's a thing of um, bad tactics, bad policing, and the way you were raised back in the day from the 90s to where we're at now. We're more inclusive. It's a different department. There's cameras for a reason. That's good reasons for both parties.
Yes.
And how do you do that? You start training them in the academy. You start changing that mindset. That's how you change. You start from the beginning instead of when I was trained there, us against them, kind of, right? Obviously not, but you start building that mentality, that ego, and all that stuff. If you can break that down in the academy now and say, hey, look, we're not playing games anymore. You're gonna actually tell on your partner because your partner's doing bad, and that's gonna be better not for only for you, for everybody in this department, for everybody in the station, and for your brotherhood. That's a real brotherhood. Is it hard? Absolutely, because we're all raised, right? We're all programmed at the beginning. Oh, why'd you tell on your little brother?
Yeah.
Why are you telling on
Yeah,
this?
don't
So
snitch.
it's not only in that, but it's from like your parents and where you raised and the people you hung out with. Hey, don't say nothing to the teacher. Okay, we took this or whatever. So it's a programming thing that needs to be
Unprogrammed.
unprogrammed slowly and within the department, right? Because they change you. When you go to the military or you go to the sheriff's department, you have a certain viewpoint, a certain perspective, and then you get there and they break that shit down and then they teach you their perspective. And so hopefully when they break you down at that point, they can start, programming you in a better way. So I don't know what the answer is at the end of the day to answer your question, but it's a hard one because it's a human problem as well. It's not just but to further along on that one, it's very hard because the sheriff's department or law enforcement in general, they're in a position of power. And when you do something like that, it can go a lot further. You can mess with somebody's freedom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody's livelihood, catching a case for so long that they put on you. So it's not just, oh, I snitched on you and we're going to get fucking detention. No, this is serious shit. So I understand the ramifications of being dirty or doing something stupid or not telling on somebody else.
Do you
You're playing with big games,
Do you think? Because I feel like when it comes to law enforcement, a lot of times they don't care because you hear. I think if you Google it, every year between the sheriffs and the LA department, I want to say $400 or $500 million in lawsuits that the taxpayer pays, maybe more. Do you think that the law enforcement will slow it down if instead of that money coming out of the funds of the taxpayer, it comes out of your guys' pension fund?
That's a good question.
I know they'll never go for it, but wouldn't you think that would be like, hey, dude, don't get sued because we're gonna lose $20 million of our fund this week?
Unfortunately, and that's a good tactic to take. It would be definitely tell people like, hey, simmer down, slow down. You got to watch what you're doing. But unfortunately, you and I we all know that everybody sues for every fucking thing nowadays.
Yes.
And so you could have been doing everything right and still, get sued. And so then at the end of the day, it's like, then who's going to join? Who's going to join the department? Who wants that job? Back in the day when we were growing up, the jobs to have if you wanted a government job was firefighter, cop. Oh, they got good pension, good eyesight, doctors, good this. Oh, you got a career now. No, not now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not now because of so many different problems, so many different aspects of going on. Right now, they're having nationwide shortages.
Yes.
Okay, that's what's happening.
Yeah, 'cause nobody wants to be a cop no more.
Nobody wants to be a cop.
There's no respect in it like there was back in the 50s.
You guys,
know?
and I still consider, because you guys, I'm sure like Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine, once a sheriff, always a sheriff. You guys, as far as law enforcement, were so villainized. And I'm sitting here watching like this. Defund the cops, we need to patrol ourselves. I'm like, motherfucker, you can't patrol one block.
You have patrol.
yeah, you're gonna patrol the whole city, huh?
Yeah.
And I saw this one politician from San Francisco in the Tenderloin area, right, which is I guess the real bad area in Frisco, and she's going in about we need more cops, we need more of this, and behind her they show her tweet back during the movement, right?
Defund
the police. We need to get our money out of here. We need to get rid of all cops. And I'm thinking, what are you guys thinking as far as politicians? When all that was going on, you weren't a sheriff anymore, right?
No.
But you're sitting back at home and you're watching all this unfold. What's going through your head, and are you getting phone calls from your buddies saying, "Dude, this is fucked up"?
No, what's going through my head is we're going to a dark place now. At the end of the day, I know what defunding the police looks like. I mean, I grew up. I mean, I was in the department as well when it was the hot years as well. You know, nobody liked cops, and there's always been riots, whether it be the Rodney King riots or the Watts riots or some other stuff. But what was going through my mind is, gosh, when we're gonna see the effects of that take place like it's happening right now, and so we're seeing it at the end of the day. So that's what I was thinking. And I was also thinking, man, there's only small minority of those people. Because to be honest with you, I worked an area that is hot, right? Gangs, Florencia, Compton, everywhere from the Pyrus to the Bloods to the Crips and all that. They don't like us, for sure. But the community loves us. They want us there, okay? They need us there, okay? And you're taking resources away from them. You're hurting them. And the people that are saying that are the bad people, okay? You don't see, Maria, or you don't see Yolanda, or you don't see whatever, out there in front of the picket lines. You see the ones that actually want to get like, oh, this is our time to fucking defund and say the word so they can listen to us so that we can get away with crime. And so that's the way I looked at it during that time,
Yeah, but there's a fine line, though, that you guys got to deal with, because morale, it's like, all right, man, they keep hitting us with the same issue.
Sure.
We're just going to ignore it.
Yeah.
And then the problem just gets worse and worse and worse. And then you get the citizens complaining because you guys are ignoring it. So it's always like a teeter-totter, like, damn, and that kind of sucked for you guys.
Yeah.
Not knowing, should I jam this guy up today because he looks like a gangbanger, or should I just let him go?
Yeah, you're forcing cops to not do their job.
Yeah.
And not do it correctly. During that time, a lot of law enforcement, you'd have you'd have the two sides. The ones that are defunding the cops, hate the cops, want this and that. And then you had the other people that you would patrol and be like, hey, deputy, hey, cop, thank you very much for your service.
Yes.
They wouldn't yell it out, though.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, thank you. Here, can I buy you a Starbucks? Can I get you lunch? You know what I'm saying? So, that makes you feel good. That lets you know that your job is matters. And then you matter to the community, matter to them. And so you try to silence the noise. But does it happen? Look, we're all human. You fucking hear it just like anything else.
Yeah.
Somebody doesn't like your fucking post on social media or says some shit. It affects you, right? It all affects us. So that affects us, being in front, having a kid flip you off on one of the protest lines and all that. It affects them. They have to take that home and explain to their kid, why was that kid flipping you off and stuff? They're human.
Yeah.
People are human, and they're doing a job, right? And they don't get paid, 100,000. Well, if you work overtime, you do, but but you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not like you're not getting paid like a lot of money to take that shit all the time.
How do you not take that home? Because you guys have the highest divorce rate in America.
Absolutely.
So how do you not take that home and leave it
This
at
guy
work?
did all his homework. I like it.
Yeah.
We do have the highest
I think he
divorce
used to be a
rate.
sheriff. I don't know. I gotta run his paperwork.
Is he an informant?
His beard might be. His beard might be.
I'm gonna check the files. I'm gonna ask the homie. What is his name?
Just run the paperwork.
Let me take a picture real quick.
Yeah.
Great question.
Give me the question again. How do you not take it home?
How do you not take the stress home to your wife?
Yeah. You do. You do sometimes. I think the best cops are the ones that don't, unfortunately, or the ones that can take it home and have a partner or some kind of outlet. Unfortunately, like you said, the highest divorce rate and all that, just like military that come back from traumatic stuff going on over there. The way you suppress it sometimes is alcohol. So, departments have a big alcohol problem or abuse problem of pills or something that's going to suppress that pain. And that's unfortunate. It is unfortunate because you do see a lot of things. You have a lot of people that don't like you. There's a lot of things going on. You're carrying a lot of stuff physically. You're in pain. And so if they don't have a good outlet, whether it be going to the gym, putting something in your body correctly, friends or other coworkers or some kind of therapy, if you can't handle it, you might come home and take it out. And then you have divorces and you have crime going on. And there's a lot of bad things that can happen. You know what I'm saying? So it does happen, and it's unfortunate because you do see a lot of things. And it's just like anything else. I guess you would call it PTSD, and a lot of people, that's one of those things that, especially Latinos or whatnot, don't want to admit at the end of the day,
Do you ever think like, damn, I should have been a firefighter?
100%, bro. Everybody loves firefighters.
Yeah, right?
Bro. They can't do wrong.
I don't know. they'll find something. They'll find something. They'll say they're not wearing a rainbow jacket. Screw the firefighter.
Now there was some shit going on with some firefighters up here one time. I think it was some firefighter burned a person's house because he was getting cheated on or some shit.
Oh,
Remember?
was it? I hear
like
San Cruz?
Tahanga or something.
Yeah, that big old house.
Yeah. But you see how that shit was like one day.
Yeah.
Bam, vámonos, see you later.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't sell, man.
Because
It doesn't sell.
your house is burning. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But we did see that with the police. To me, after the movement, it seemed like the police stepped back and like. I'm not like you said. I'm not pulling that guy over. He's got a broken windshield, broken light. I'm not pulling him over because I don't want to put. It seems like the police are like, I don't want to put myself in that position.
100. Yeah.
And do you think that's happened?
Oh yeah, 100. They've stepped back. They haven't done the job properly. They haven't served the community properly. They haven't been aggressive. They haven't been. I wouldn't say aggressive. They haven't been proactive.
Proactive. That's the word I was looking
proactive. And righteously so.
Now, is that because upper management in the police department's not backing you guys up?
Well, when Villanueva was there, right? He was kind of the guy that was a trooper guy for the troops, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a general.
Yeah, he was general.
Yeah, and he took all that in, didn't let
yeah.
it flow down to you.
And it's like anything else. Yeah, it flows down, you know. So when you have somebody new, a new sheriff like they have right now, and he's trying to lay down the law on certain things, you're just gonna hold back, and you're just fuck that. We're not gonna do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's
We're gonna fill this
unfortunate.
guy out.
It's unfortunate because let's keep it real. You were calling for service about something.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you know, the service is gonna lack for you. You know, and that's not correct. They're there to serve the public. That's exactly what it is. And unfortunately, the service is not done correctly now because so many different reasons. One, the department doesn't back you. Two, society doesn't back you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, this is a job. I want to keep it. I want to retire in 30 years. I'm making good money. You know, I have this position. And a lot of people don't want to work patrol. Like, just put me in a desk now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with the public anymore. You know?
shit.
So it's getting bad. And it's I don't see it anytime getting better.
Not in L.A.
No, I mean, and it's just based on videos too. And well, look, most of the videos that we've seen are somewhere else too. Like the Minnesota one or wherever that was at. The George Floyd one was somewhere else too. There's some here, right? Some shootings or stuff that happened with LA County sheriffs or LAPD or some local departments. But the LAPD and the LA County sheriffs are top notch. They are trained by the best. They are top notch. People come from other countries, from other states to train, to learn how to run jails here. From El Salvador, from Guatemala, from Latin America, from Canada. They come and learn, how do you guys running jails out here? So it's top notch. Okay? Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, right? But you won't see a lot of shit happening like in other places because we're trained better. And I'm not trying to put the other law enforcement down or anything. It's just better training based on the mass, or the sheriff's department is the biggest sheriff's department, so the resources are better, you know, than some small departments. They don't have the resources, you know. They take the little car home. They're one guy patrolling an area of whatever, and everybody knows his name. Hey, Deputy Joe Buck, how are you today? You know what I'm saying? And then some shit happens, and he has no training, and he's doing the wrong fucking thing, choking people out, shooting people in the back because he doesn't have the training.
Well, that's Uvalde, man. Look at that. Was 1 year anniversary. Look at
100. I just saw
cowards,
that.
brother.
Yes, yes. That's exactly it.
Those-
they were waiting.
Yes, they were
They
cowards.
were waiting.
Like, I'm
100.
Like, what do you mean? You got kids there. You got the big guns. This is what you've been waiting for. This is your day to be the hero
Right.
and go in here and kill this guy. You might take a bullet, but this is what you signed up for.
100%. And that's a perfect example, actually, of lack of training, maybe lack of balls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever was going on there. But we've been trained because this is LA County sheriffs. And we go do training for other fucking people who come to us to show them. Did they have lack of training? I have no idea. If they had the training and they didn't go in there and do their job, common sense tells you somebody is getting shot. There's kids getting shot and they have no protection. You do. Get the fuck in there. That's common sense.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I think, it was unfortunate that it happened there. I don't know if they have the training or not. I have no
Well,
idea.
that's the thing about police departments. When there's somebody's in any kind of service and the regular citizens that hate the cops, I'll say this: when a cop hears a shooting, he's not running away from it; he's running to it.
Yeah.
You know, and most people, you got to respect that. I mean, whether you like them or not, you got to respect it. They're out there. At the end of the day, they're out there to protect and serve. Does it always happen? No, but like anything else, it's not a perfect system by any means.
Yeah, it's not a perfect system. And you and I know that times have changed.
Yes.
You know, and I used to like the old days. You know, the old days were
You used to like to, if they don't stop, I'm gonna run and beat them up. That was the
the old days.
No,
Look,
just
you know
drop
it, right?
'em.
You know it. I don't even have to say it.
Don't run, homie.
If you run from a deputy sheriff,
You get caught.
you're gonna get your ass whooped.
If you get caught,
You know, yeah. If you get caught, you're gonna get beat up. Okay. Now I'm not saying that they're beating you up to where your point where they're killing you, but you're getting a good. You're getting.
Calentado, you get calentado, homie.
You might go to the doctors. You know what I'm saying? But
Nothing major.
yeah. But you know, I'm not saying that's right. What I'm
But
saying
that was
that's the way it was.
That's the way it was.
The way it was when I was growing up, my mom had a chancla and fucking spanked us.
Yes.
That was the way it was, and we learned.
Yes.
Okay. Now it's like you're taking a timeout.
Well, hey,
yeah.
but
You
now
know,
you in the corner.
we're not gonna allow you to use the PlayStation and the Metatron virtual fucking reality shit,
Hey,
right?
but look
And
at this. Every day on the news, or at least once a week or every day, you're finding somebody getting killed from a high speed chase, from running away from the cops. Now the motto is run.
Correct.
Before you don't run because you can get caught, you can get your ass whipped. Sometimes you need a little bit of that, and people are trying to put like how you said how it was back in the days like that. Yeah, it was like that. People are trying to put today's morals and values with yesterday's.
Right.
You can't mix that.
Correct.
It was a much tougher world for
Much tougher.
everybody.
For sure.
For
sure.
And we're learning from that, but at the same time, I think it's a lot of overcorrection from people.
Right.
How much do you think the media has played in this? Because before Biden came into office, it was the cops are killing everybody. They're killing every black man in the street. They're killing every minority out there. The cops. As soon as Biden came into office, the media isn't even talking about it. So I'm like, wait a minute, the police shooting stopped all of a sudden? Did we solve it? Are we in harmony now?
Yeah.
So to me, does the media not play a big role in just keep showing videos and saying, look, this is what's happening?
Absolutely. No, the media plays a big role in everything. I mean, it seems like the media has changed from a media outlet to an entertainment outlet, you know? And unfortunately, that's it. Look, the media is good for many things, okay? It's good to expose bad. It's good to, you know, we use it. I know you've used it, right? We all say, hey, let's bring some attention to this and let's bring some good shit to a paletero who got his ass whooped, you know what I'm saying, by some people that were thugs and try to, you know, unfortunately use this guy as a victim, right? Rob him or whatnot. So that's good, right? Hey, let's try to find this person. Let's use the media for that. But it also, we have to understand that the media is propaganda, right? And it's out there. And what people need to understand is see it, look at it, do your homework, and then have an opinion.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, but if you're just taking it for what it's worth, then we're fucked. You know what I'm saying? You have to do your homework a little bit, and that's why I'm here. Actually, you know, I thank you for inviting me because at the end of the day, nobody that I know of that has a tattoo has ever fucking talked. Okay, they're not going to talk to the media because the media's not going to give them a chance. So you're giving me a chance to explain my point of view. Do I say it's right? It's my perspective, brother.
Yeah,
it's my perspective.
I
you know what I'm saying?
respect it all day long.
And so I'm not saying that I'm right. What I'm saying is that the way it got offered to me, the way I see it from this perspective, that's what it looks like. That's what it is. And I thank you for that opportunity because a lot of the times you're told by either an attorney, by your department union reps, or the media won't give you a voice. And this is a voice for me, at least. You know, whatever your audience wants to take it, they can take it whichever way, and they can say that motherfucker's a liar. That's fine. They can do whatever they want. They have their opinion. We're in a free world as we are, right? But at least I'm speaking up for what I believe is the truth.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate that.
So are there women allowed in these cliques?
There are.
Yeah.
There are.
Because
Yeah.
I haven't seen a woman go through this
No,
scrutiny
the second in command for the sheriff's department, I think, just got outed like in April for that.
for being
She's
one of
There are.
I want to say she was from Linwood, African American, and she's way up there. She's,
We don't know.
she-
Sí,
come
sabes,
on,
sí sabes.
homie.
Did you homework?
I do my homework as well.
Eh?
Yeah, she was outed. She has a tattoo from back in the days. Do you think that eventually it'll come to a point where, hey man, this is just too much drama? The new guys, or maybe change a tattoo and just make it all sheriff's department or something?
You know, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to take its form, but I know that supervisors are telling the troops and the new people and everybody coming in through the academy now, don't fucking get a tattoo.
Yeah.
You know, and you know why?
You're gonna single yourself out.
You're gonna single yourself out. The reality of it is, if whatever's happening right now with the inspector that's doing the asking everybody to show the tattoo, and this new sheriff doing all this, is you're giving another once again, you're giving ammo to the criminals and to defense attorneys. Okay, because just because you have a tattoo doesn't mean you are a criminal or doing anything wrong. But because you have a tattoo and that guy that you arrested did something wrong, committed a crime, was carrying a gun, whatever it might be, and you took him to jail, the first thing the defense attorney does now is, do you have a tattoo or are you part of a clique? And you have to tell the truth. And if you say yes, he wants the case fucking thrown out. Is that right? That's not right. Because that guy actually committed a crime. Now, just because you have a tattoo, it puts you in this precedent that they're trying to do now, that if you have a tattoo, your word is shit. And that's not right, okay? So it's getting a little hairy of where it could go, unfortunately. So if that happens, nobody's going to get a tattoo.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna.
You know?
I saw. I don't know if it was so true as you guys turned.
But I
to
don't
take
think
them
it
off
can
and-
happen. I don't think it can happen because at the end of the day, that's a violation of some constitutional rights there. To have a tattoo and to have a tattoo that you have with somebody else or
Well,
whatnot.
I
I have a tattoo that I have with my brother that we made up ourselves. We drew. We have
Yeah.
actually my brother and another a friend of mine that I consider my brother who
There's
recently
three
passed
of you
away.
guys.
Three of
No,
us.
no,
You
that's
guys
a
are
gang.
There you go.
You're a gang member.
Three
I'm on a gang junction. I can't hang out with two of my buddies. Two or more, you're a gang.
That buddy's gonna get the RICO Act.
Hey, we got to trademark that shit just like your show.
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be good.
Yeah.
Hey, you should get it right there. Trademark, the American Cholo, all put it together.
Man, no. Then we get the RICO Act.
The feds are already watching.
Yeah, the feds are wild. They're gonna watch this one.
Fuck.
So, if anything, what would you want people, to take out of this interview you coming on here that they may not see,
Yeah.
when they watch the news and stuff?
I want them to take out that or take from this that law enforcement in general are human beings. People make mistakes just like teachers, lawyers, and whoever, firefighters. And there's good cops and there's bad cops. And if bad cops are doing bad things, whether they have a tattoo or not, they should go to jail. Okay? Don't judge a book by its cover, meaning just because they have a tattoo doesn't make them a bad person. And usually those people that are doing something like that are probably proactive cops. Have a communication with your local law enforcement officer. Like, talk to cops that are fucking, say hi. Hey, one of the things that, and really quick, one of the things that I used to love was when we were patrolling that a business would say, hey, come on in, you want a free coffee? Hey, can you do me a favor and park right here? I'll give you some coffee. My wife just made something. Yeah. Write your reports right in front of my house. We've been having a lot of crime, a lot of cars speeding around here. We got kids over here. Sure, no problem. Thank you. I appreciate that. They'd come out with a little bit of water or whatnot. That's building a relationship. So what I want people is to understand is build a relationship with the law enforcement officers. They're serving your community for 5, 6, 10 years, maybe some of them even longer. Okay. And if you build a relationship with them and show them who you are, they'll know who you are. They patrol. You live right there, brother? Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Hey, I'm not a gangster, bro. I'm over here just trying to be better for the community and so on. So they're going to remember you. And when you call them, they're going to respond to you. But if you just fucking don't have the communication with them,
Yeah.
you're going to get treated that way at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And so build a relationship with where you live at, with the law enforcement officers. I mean, I don't know if you know anybody here that's a law enforcement officer. I don't know if you've ever said, hey, how are you?
Charlie, I don't fuck with those.
No, like my problem with law enforcement, it started when
See what happens? See what happened?
No, it was when I was a kid. I mean, they would give me tickets for riding on a skateboard on the sidewalk
sure.
or on the street or double riding on my bike. So
They were fucking with you.
yeah, ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So
It's because that beard, fool.
yeah, I did.
You had it since 12?
Yeah.
You had it since
Damn.
Born with it.
God damn.
No, but like it started way back then
Yeah.
when I started not liking cops, and then one day my daughter, she was young, and she goes, "Dad, the popo's right there," and I was like, "So?" But then I thought, "Where'd you get that from?"
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, it had to be her mom because she's only going between my car and her mom's car, and I'm just like, what is, like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
And it was, she was seeing what I was seeing when I was a kid, and
Yeah.
she was starting to get the same thoughts that I did towards police officers.
absolutely.
Because, I mean, really give a kid a ticket for
Right.
riding a skateboard on the street or on the sidewalk,
Absolutely.
Hey, tell him to get off or go walk his board across the street. But to
Yeah.
give a ticket and make him go do Saturday school, at least that's what they did back then,
Yeah.
So, like, cops got to come meet us halfway.
100%. One of the greatest stories was me. I was growing up North Hollywood, borderline Burbank. Mom still lives where she is, and I would go to Burbank because they had nice theaters, nice little areas, nice clean. And I get fucked with Burbank PD
all day long.
So one of the ways that I wanted to fix that was I want to become a law enforcement because I don't want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? And there's people like that join law enforcement to help to realize, hey, I got fucked with when I was a kid, and I don't want that to happen to my daughter, to my kids, or whatnot. And you're right. There's petty shit. There's petty shit like that. Okay. And there's bad people. You know, they shouldn't have fucking done something like that. They should build a relationship. 100%. They should meet you halfway. That's the culture that needs to change within law enforcement, right? But we can't just say, hey, well, fuck, you change first and then I change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like fuck it. Take the first step and say, hey, officer, how are you? You know, hey, do you need some water? Thank you for your service. My name's Hector, whatever it might be. You know, thank you. I appreciate you. Fuck, look at this guy. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool, man. Hey, thanks. Nice to meet you. They come back around. You don't have to be friends with them. Like, this guy doesn't want to be friends. But you know what I'm saying? Show yourself that you're a good person. You have a good family. That you're good. That you know, whatever you were back then, you know, travieso or whatever, that you're here, you know, trying to make the community better.
I got a reputation to keep, Holmes. No, man.
He's not gonna be the
actually,
American Cholo no more.
I even when my mom was dope dealing back in the days, right? And I was running the streets and I was banging. My mom would still tell me, "Hey, mijo, respect the cops." Like straight up. That was always instilled in me. She would say, "Respect the cops," because you know we come from a third world country, Honduras, and she's like, "I know what cops over there are. They're the biggest pieces of shit. They're gonna steal from you. These guys," and she would say, "I fucking hate them sometimes, but they're at least protecting the anarchy that would happen if the cops weren't here."
Yeah.
So I always had that, even as a youngster. You know, I did my shit, and you know, of course, they have the police. You know, when you're young, but as you get older, to me, brother, then that's why I got you here on the platform to talk about it, because we need to communicate with one another.
Yeah.
We really do. And to me, like I said, you guys put your life on the line, homie. I gotta respect it.
Yeah.
I gotta respect it. I can't sit here and just say F. No, there is good, there is bad, but we gotta find a fine line to communicate with one another.
No, I always tell people, oh, you think fucking cops here are bad?
Yeah.
Go to a fucking go to
TJ.
Mexico, go to
Mexico,
TJ.
man.
It's
Yeah.
fucking crazy over there.
They rob you.
Yeah, forget about that shit. So, I remember you when you were a kid, man. We grew up together. I'll tell you something really quick. I was scared of this fucking guy, man. I was scared, and he was my friend.
Yeah.
But I knew what his potential was to do some shit. His mind was on a different level. I even tell I won't say his name.
Yeah.
You really better.
Yes.
Yeah, he says, "What's up?" Anyways.
Oh, that's right.
But man, I was like, "Fuck, this guy! Thank God he's my friend." But I definitely don't want to hang out with him too often. 'Cause I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do.
Yeah.
And so, mad respects that you know, obviously that you got out of that. You're doing better. I see what you're doing.
Thank you,
You know,
Matt.
and that was my intention as well, to join the sheriff's department to do.
Not to be like you.
Yeah. No, but you know, you learn. You learn.
Yeah.
Like I learned a lot from him, and I was like, oh fuck, that's scary. That game's not for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That game wasn't for me. And it probably wasn't for you, but at the end of the day, that was what it was happening at that point. But yeah, no, I just got to give props because you've come a long way. But at the end of the day, if anybody's listening, man, this motherfucker was, God, I was scared. And thank God he was my brother, like my friend, man.
Yeah,
Thank God.
some people think I'm making it up, Holmes.
No, bro. I remember when I heard you were doing this, the Real American Cholo Pilot, I'm like, I know him. Where do I know him from? And so and so. And then I'm like, holy fuck, that's fucking
that guy.
Oh, he's a real American Cholo right there. Fuck. I was like, oh shit, what is he doing now? Oh, he's doing better. Really?
Yeah.
That motherfucker changed.
That fool made it.
He could do it. He did it.
I used to get.
I thought you were probably
I
dead.
used-
I thought you were gonna be dead.
I
bro.
used to get that so much. Even now, you out of everybody made it. Like, yeah, I'm
Jesus
still here though, homie.
I had some homies that were okay. They were down, did some time, you know, did a lot of shit. But you were freaky, bro. You were freaky. Yeah. I mean, it's just a matter of like, I didn't know what was going up in here in your head.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's-
You know it.
The ones who know. Yeah, we went all gas, and it was like,
It was all gas.
I hear people all the time say, "I don't give a fuck," and like,
Yeah, you
I know what I don't give a fuck really.
looks like.
Yeah, it really looks
Really
like.
looks like.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
but that's why you know I got passion for doing this, homie. I really do, because this is great. This is communication between the community, between law enforcement, and hopefully, you know, some politicians can watch this, some people in the community can watch this, and get a better understanding of what's really going on out there, and how we can kind of, you know, find a middle ground for this.
There's no perfect. There's only progression. Right.
Beautiful.
So if if we can start here having this dialogue, hopefully getting out there and saying, look, let's, like you said, meet in the middle. Let's have a dialogue. You know, say hi to your local cop there. The cop says hi back.
sure.
You know, he breaks down that barrier. Then then it can repair itself slowly. You know, is there still going to be some people that hate cops? Is there still going to be cops that are bad? 100, right? Just like anything else. But we have to not focus on the small percentage, but we have to focus on the big percentage of what can be. And so, you know, I thank you for giving me this voice here, so that I can at least explain that a little bit, and we can all get better. So.
Oh, absolutely. Now the only one I'm gonna call out, Villanueva, where you at, homeboy? I'm looking for you.
He might be on here.
I want that interview, carnal.
That'd be a good one.
No, that'd be a great one, man. Come on, Villanueva. Don't get scared of this guy, homie.
I got a question.
Shoot.
Man.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so when I was in Wayside,
Uh-oh.
what's the purpose of butts to nuts? Like, why have it so fucking close?
Yeah.
Like, the line's already fucking a mile long. What's another fucking 3 inches, you know? Like, why so close? What's the purpose of that?
Yeah, when you're closer to each other, there's less ways that you can actually attack somebody. So you're really, really close to somebody, and less movement. You have to turn. You have to step out. Everything is tactics.
Yeah.
You know, everything is when they took you out of the shower to put you out there, butt naked.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Breaking
It's,
it
you know,
down.
but at the end of the day, are you gonna get in a fight like that? Are you?
No,
Are you gonna?
no.
You know what I'm saying?
It was cold.
Yeah. You're not gonna fight like that.
I got into a fight, butt naked in the shower.
Ándale. Ándale.
I had to. I
I
had
had
to.
to be in the middle
It doesn't.
of December.
It doesn't surprise me,
Yeah,
brother.
in the middle of the mountains, fucking freezing my ass
Yeah,
off.
but see,
Whatever you tell me, it doesn't surprise
You're
me.
like, yeah, that's true. That's true. See, but you don't understand. The nuts to butts was hard for Boo Boo because Boo Boo got some big old nuts.
Ándale. Ay.
He's like, nuts to butts. I am, bro.
They're all
Yeah, I'm like,
12 inches away. Get closer. What the fuck? I'm gonna get inside him.
oh shit! Hey,
damn.
another thing, and this one, like I could cut this. Some of the members all leave
Yeah.
out. You motherfuckers! Now let's talk to the sheriff here.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember like there was a riot, my first riot in LA County Jail, right? Old fucking jail. We're in a day room. Some shit kicked off. After that, boom, 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 you know. Obviously, there's no sheriffs. You hear the sheriffs? They're not running. They're walking.
Oh,
up.
no,
They're walking up there after they get all done, throw their mace, everything. All right. Let's see who won. It was almost like, it's another riot.
Yeah.
At that, do you guys come to a point where fuck it, let them
Let
fight
them-
each other?
Let them get tired out.
No, you know the philosophy of jail and why they put Hispanics and blacks and whites and the demographics. You'll never see a dorm full of just Hispanics or a dorm just full of blacks or just a dorm full of whites, or the demographics are always
Mixed.
a little bit mixed. And that's so that they can worry about themselves, not against
Against
the deputy
the
sheriffs.
deputies, yeah.
Okay. And to be honest, that's the tactic that was used during COVID. The vaccinated and the unvaccinated, the masks and the unmasked, the people that believe in this and that, is to keep us separated. You're not vaccinated, bro? Oh, I can't talk to you.
Divide and
You're not wearing
conquer.
a mask. Divide and conquer. Okay,
shit.
so it's a whole philosophy that's been going back for years of, hey, if they worry about each other, they're not gonna worry about us. So you put them against each other at the end of the day, and you level out the demographics, and that's just the way it is. Because if you don't, then you have time to plot. And now it's one deputy sheriff versus 96 inmates in a
Yeah.
dorm. But if you have 45 and 45 blacks and Hispanics, they're worrying about each other. They're not worried about that one deputy. He's there to just fucking protect you if some shit goes wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not going to
That
go
makes
in there
sense.
against 96 people.
No,
of course,
no.
Let
they're
them
going to
tire
take their
themselves
time.
out.
Yeah. We'll go in there.
Yeah, but they ain't
throw
running.
shit.
They're like,
Yeah.
all right, who won this one? That's all I heard.
There was a guy one time, bro. Fucking god damn, he got his ass whooped. He was a Latino, Mexican, and he got thumped up. He had the green light on him. And he was getting fucked up. And we went in there and he was bleeding, bro. Bleeding. We're like, all right, we got to take him out of here. Fuck that. I'm not leaving. Like, oh,
One of those.
One of those. I'm not leaving. We're like,
And roll
dude,
shit up.
you got to go. You're going to get killed. And they're like, hey, he needs to go. We're going to kill him. That's what was going down. He didn't want to go. So now we got to put hands. So he got fucked up by us and by the fucking.
Oh,
And by the-
shit.
by the-
Because we had it
Yeah.
forcefully taken.
Take
I'm
him
like,
out.
and that motherfucker didn't want to go, bro. He had some balls,
Wow.
bro. I was like, he was bleeding, cut up, stabbed, whatever. And I'm like, this motherfucker wants to stay.
Yeah.
Got some balls. So I don't know what happened to
Maybe
him.
too much balls, Holmes.
Maybe too much.
All right.
What was that on the American
American
Meat?
Me. when you come out,
You got too much heart or something?
Yeah, you got hard, Holmes. Maybe too much.
Maybe too
Yeah.
much.
Hey, how many, or is there a lot of fucking snitches in the county jail? How many?
Oh.
What fools dropping kites all the time?
All the time. Bro, everywhere. On the street, everywhere.
Really?
Bro, everything is leverage. Leverage. You know, nobody wants 3 strikes. Nobody wants their kid taken away from them on the street, right? Oh, my kid, don't take them to foster homes. Whatever you have as a law enforcement to use as leverage,
They're gonna use it.
you're going to use it to get information. And people are going to fucking sing like birds.
You have.
That's how you get info.
Yeah.
Like,
Was
you know
there-
what I'm saying?
Was there guys and you don't got to name hoods or anything? Was there guys in like fucking hoods that people thought they were have these fucking vatos down and you knew that this was a straight snitch?
Absolutely. 100. Absolutely. Well, the ones that are down, look, I had this one incident where there was a shooting at a place and there was a shooting and I knew that that some of them would be there, you know, protecting their hood, strapped up or whatnot. There was this kid, bro, probably 15, 16 years old. We see them, we're like, they didn't run, they didn't do anything. I'm like, let's call him over. Call him over. He comes over, like nothing, bro, just walks normal. Hey, you got a strap on you? He goes, yeah, right here. Just lifted it up, bro. What the fuck? He could easily shot us, whatever.
Yeah.
Nah,
You guys are in uniform?
we were uniformed.
Yeah.
We were patrolling, but we're like, this kid right here didn't even bitch up.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those things that, you know, like out of
fuck.
context. Usually, like somebody's like, oh fuck, I got a gun, I'm running.
I'm running,
Yeah.
right.
Or like he called me over, now I'm gonna run. Or they'll take out the gun and shoot or whatever it might be.
Just walked up.
Walked up. We asked him a question.
All
You got
nice
a
and
gun.
calm.
Lifted up his shit, right in his waistband. Said, don't fucking move. We got out. Didn't move. Went to jail. Juvie probably, but got out. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like, holy fucking shit.
walked
Now
right
that
up on
kid
you.
was making his bones. He wanted to get caught.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was posting. Some of the OGs, fuck that. They would have ran.
I heard in the county jail that they were catching the blues from the sheriffs. Like as far as pretty much it's almost like you guys gave the green light for killing a sheriff. Could you see
Yeah.
that happening? I mean, you still, I would think, talk to some of your boys that
Yeah.
are sheriffs and all that.
Absolutely.
What do they see on the streets as far as like the drug scene and all that? Because nowadays you can be shooting up a fucking needle in your neck.
Yeah.
Cops will just drive right by. They don't stop. It's like their policy is no longer to touch anybody like that. What do they see out there as far as the drugs and all that stuff? How do they feel about all that? How the streets are?
Yeah, I mean, they feel that the crime for possession of cocaine or any drug now is like a misdemeanor.
Yes.
So why fucking take all this paperwork to do all this shit to take this guy off the street and he's gonna be right back out and doing the same shit. So at the end of the day, you know how drugs leads to crime, and so they see it just getting worse based on the fact that this new district attorney has lowered the crime, you know, certain things, letting people out. I saw you post up recently like 288s are being left out, you know, without no bail. I mean, what the fuck are we doing here? And a lot of these cops that are getting shot, whether it be here, Arizona, or something, you see, they're like, oh, they just got out of jail because it was overcrowding. Boom, now he's in a fucking shooting. You know, so we're letting out people. There's just something on the news that came out that there's overcrowding in the jails again. They're gonna start letting people out again.
Well, they're closing. I think they already did Central Jail.
Yeah, they're trying to do that now.
And they didn't figure where
They're
they're
closing
gonna
the
put
juvenile
the
hall.
two juvenile
Yeah.
halls.
Yeah.
What are they thinking?
They're gonna fucking put him in another county.
I don't know. To me, I've been
Kern
having
County, Ventura
I've been having
County.
this conversation. They're gonna need to open up some type of juvenile facility, some
Yeah.
kind of youth authorities, because
For
you're
sure.
gonna have a bunch of juvenile guys getting juvenile life again, but they can't sit in juvenile hall forever.
No.
They're too
Yeah,
packed.
they're saying those buildings are too old now. That's why they're shutting them down. I mean, I don't think that's the reason, but that's the excuse that
Yeah,
they were saying
it's
on the news.
the society right now that's running California, especially, is into this. We're gonna hug our way out of this problem. No, seriously,
For 100.
we're gonna
100.
hug our way out of this problem. You know, we're gonna counsel people. You don't counsel a gangbanger out of shooting a motherfucker.
Right.
You know, give them a little calentado, which is a little bit of jail time, a little bit, and then you get them. But to let it's
gotta
like
break
it's
them down.
yeah, you're letting
If
these
there's-
guys going out.
Yeah, if there's no consequences, then
Yeah.
you're just gonna do whatever
it
the fuck
again.
you want to do
Yes.
again. Yeah.
Yes.
And so yeah, I mean they're allowing everything just to happen in front of them. It's like, oh cool, man, enjoy your rock. See you later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know this,
You know what I'm saying?
You know
oh
what-
cool.
you
You,
know
want
what-
some? You want some?
Yeah, right.
This reminds me of like 1988, 89.
Mm.
And crime is going up, gang. You could see it on the streets, on the walls. Alonzo said, "No, crime is not going up. Kill my statistics. I don't care about what your paperwork says. The writing's on the wall. I mean, crime's going up, murders are going up. I mean, everything that was going up like in the 80s, 90s, it's going up. But the difference is now it's like the politicians are adding fuel to the fire.
You know, one of the best chiefs that I ever saw at LAPD was what's his name? Oh God, it'll come to me. But he was a chief that was brought on there to deal with gangs.
Was that
to
the
deal
one
with
from
crime.
New York?
No, not him. It was way before. It was in the 80s, 90s.
Oh,
Gates, they had
Gates.
Daryl?
Yeah,
Daryl
Daryl
Gates?
Gates.
Daryl
He came in. He was laying down the hammer. Created a team. I think he's the one that created Crash.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
And so you ask him to do a job. We want you to better the community,
Eradicate
stop gang
gangs,
violence.
right.
There's so many killings. Look at all the homicides, 200 per year at this square area. So and so. So he came in, created Crash, and did his job. And then all of a sudden, holy shit, you're doing this, you're doing that. Fuck you, get the fuck out of here. You got fired.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. I did what you asked me to do. I came in here. I stopped gang violence. We brought the violence down and all this stuff. And now the community and all this saying, holy shit, my kid is this and that. And he's not even a gang member. And then all of a sudden he's out of a job. You know, it's like you want something, but you don't know. You don't want what's coming. What comes with it. You know what I'm saying?
They want to eat the hamburger, but they don't want to see you slaughter the fucking the
Exactly.
cow. That's
100,
exactly what it comes down to.
100.
Yeah, but
Yep.
that goes back to upper management backing up their soldiers.
Correct.
You know, because right now you guys don't have that.
But it's also
Right.
the politicians.
You know,
though.
just like, well, yeah,
The
but
politicians they're bosses of the share of the chiefs.
like the LAPD chief that came from New York. I don't remember his name, but this was in the night.
Bratton.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember I was hanging out in Aliso Village at that time, and man, these cops would come in and they fuck everybody up, and that helicopter would come low. I mean,
Yeah.
you could feel the wind off the helicopter. That's how low they were coming.
And let
into
me
the
jump
project.
on.
Yeah, but there was a reason for that. It was because they were trying to disorient you. You know, and it worked. I mean, everybody in those projects were like, "Fuck, here they come again!" And everyone's fucking scattered like roaches.
Yeah.
You know, but that helicopter come and fucking man, you thought the blades were gonna hit you.
Yeah, I mean,
You
it's
know?
a fine line, right?
Yeah.
Do we want that? No, you don't
Well,
want that.
in certain areas, you do.
Right? No,
You know,
exactly.
not at my house.
Yeah.
You know, I live
See?
in a good neighborhood. You know.
But you know, it's a fine line. You're asking somebody to do a fucking job.
Yeah.
To get rid of gang violence. And you know what? One of the best shirts I ever saw somewhere, it said, "Violent men for a violent society." Okay, that's how you handle that shit. But unfortunately, now it's not like that. You fucking have soft men for a violent society. It's not gonna work that way. It's not gonna work that
yeah,
way.
No.
you're not gonna go to the Wild Wild West and tell everybody just calm down, guys. You need a white herb.
Yeah.
You need a
Yeah.
sheriff that's gonna put the law down.
With fine lines, of course. Yeah, but yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
And it's crazy and amazing that a lot of, let's say, old cholos, right? They're always to that point. They're like, nah, dude, you need some kind of structure. You
Yeah.
need some kind of consequences, right? Kids are like, oh, you guys are just, nah, dude, this is how it works. You can't sit there and just act the fool all day long, because then what's gonna happen? Then your mom's gonna get robbed, your grandma's gonna get robbed, like, you know, you're gonna get your shit stolen, and then you're gonna be like, where were the cops at?
Yeah. You know, I think you said it right. Like when you have that young mentality,
Mm-hmm.
right, as you did as law enforcement officers, they first get on the department. Let's
Oh, they're
let's
gung-ho.
prove myself, gung ho.
Yeah.
You know, gunslingers and all that, pistoleros and shit. You know, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
so that's a bad mentality to have. But it's almost like it's a human fucking thing, right? And it's unfortunate because they're in a position of power. But as you get older, as you got older, as I got older, as people and deputies and law enforcement get older, they realize, okay, that's not the fucking way to be. Hey, let me teach this young buck, slow the fuck down, you know. Don't fuck one of the cows, fuck them all, you know, kind of
yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Right?
Fuck 'em
That was a
all.
great movie, Colors, right?
Colors,
And so that's kind of it. But unfortunately, it's like nobody's listening to that fucking 20-something. You feel, you know, invincible. You feel like nobody's going to tell you shit. And when you're a cop with that power, it's a dangerous thing too, you know. Hopefully those ones that are still straight and listen and stayed straight. But as you know, your mom was telling you respect cops, do all this shit. You didn't listen for a little bit, you know.
No, I respect them, but I'm
No, but I'm just saying.
I was,
I'm still doing my business.
yeah.
I respected them.
Well, this was it. I respected their gangster, homie. It's just like my enemies.
Yeah.
I know they were my enemies, but I respected their gangster.
You have to respect.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I had a lot of respect, but trust me, man, I made a lot of friends, or I wouldn't say friends, but people that were gang members that knew, you know, my name. And
yeah.
they knew I was coming. They're like, this guy's just looking for guns, or this guy's just, he's cool, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. How's it going? How's everything going? You guys doing anything? And so you create a relationship. You have respect, because they can take your life as well as you can take theirs, and it's a respect, and it's a game, and it is what it is.
So like throughout the years, there's always been a beef between LAPD and LA sheriff. You know, I mean, I've seen it in person.
Yeah.
You know, like LAPD pull over somebody and he's a sheriff and they don't give a fuck. They arrest him anyways, and vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, why does that happen between two departments that are patrolling the same area pretty
Yeah.
much? You know, I mean, they just don't like each other.
Different gangs.
Different gangs. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's a competition.
Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, it's a competition. I mean, they have Baker to Vegas, which is a running competition. You have these World Police Games, which is they play different games and stuff. And so at the end of the day, it's like, hey, we're a better department than you. You know, you're still look when shit hits the fan, you're working together. But other than that, you're like, fuck that, you know.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and not to talk anything about LAPD, I've lived in LAPD area forever, but I believe that LA County Sheriff's builds a better deputy based on the fact that they have to work the jails first. And so when you work in the jails, let's say you get on at 21, you get to talk to some people that are in there for something, right?
Yeah.
Whether they're still going to court or whether
Yeah.
they're convicted
Yeah.
or not, but you get to understand how they steal a car, what happens to you when how much meth goes on the street. They tell you, they talk to you, you know, no big deal. What are the effects of doing meth? What it goes on the street? What it's wholesaling for? Where do they get it from? Meaning like in the streets? How is it baggage? What's it?
Like you're going to criminal college.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so you learn a lot. And now you go out on the streets, you're a
You
little bit
know.
older, you're a little bit wiser, you have a little bit more knowledge. LAPD comes out of the academy, boom, fresh boots, 21. You go to domestic violence call, and you have two older people, 40-something-year-old, and this 21-year-old is like trying to give them advice.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. You have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not
you don't
even
even know.
married
You don't even know what
You
it
don't
is to
understand
be
a nagging
married
wife.
to a 20 years exactly.
Yeah.
So why are they giving advice on shit like that? So
Yeah.
and that's the only reason. But nothing to knock off on any law enforcement. I
Yeah.
just believe that the experience that you get before going on the patrol to serve the public is better based on the fact that you have time.
So how many
to
years
groom
do you
yourself.
got to do in county, or you say courts or some?
Yeah.
You know, how many years do you got to do?
It depends what station you put in for, like what patrol station. So if you're
you-
putting in for like a fast station,
Yeah.
like
Like say Compton, you're gonna wait a while.
no, you're gonna go fast.
Oh,
because
really?
people there do a couple years and then they're moving on to specialized units.
Oh, okay.
You go do Malibu, people are retiring there.
Yeah,
Beach
yeah,
Boys.
you're not
Oh,
gonna
the
go-
Beach
yeah,
Boys.
yeah,
got
yeah.
Shout out to Malibu, the Beach
Oh,
Boys.
Malibu's most wanted.
Hey, so
Yeah.
to recap, so you're pretty much saying that the LAPDs are a bunch of weenies, and that
Ah,
the sheriffs
see?
are the,
Are the top dogs? Right.
See,
that's
see
what
what
you
he
just
said?
said, right?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
you just said.
So see how the media fucking
We're
produces.
starting beefs. We're starting beefs. My last question, and then you can have it, and that's it.
I'm good,
My
I'm
last
good.
question: was there ever a time that you either did or thought about and went to somebody, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna take this badge off. Let's get it in. Let's
Absolutely, absolutely. That's how you.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. There's letter of the law and spirit of the law. Okay. There's ways to handle business and still make an effect. And so did I ever say, hey, I'm gonna take off my badge? I don't remember saying something like that, but I remember saying, hey, look, bro, you want to go to jail, or you want to go home? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You want to go to jail, you want to go home. Give me something, or like, let's work this shit out, or I'm gonna drop you off in a certain area and you gotta make your way fucking back home, or some shit that you can teach this kid a lesson. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the way it was back then too.
Yes.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
people want to go home. You know, especially if you're a youngster, first time going to jail or juvie or some shit for tagging or some whatever it was back then. Caught up with weed because weed was a thing, I guess, back then and all this shit. So, yeah, there's different ways. I'll give you an example. In all my years of working as a deputy, I never took a person to jail for DUI, not once. Now, how the fuck does that happen, right? Like
Right.
15 years, like never took one person. Did I pull over people for DUI? Absolutely. But there's different ways to skin a cat. You know what I'm saying? So there's ways that, hey, you're going in the back seat, call somebody, come pick them up. Here are the keys, pick up the car tomorrow.
Old school policing.
Old school
Nice.
policing,
That is-
right?
That's old school policing.
Yeah, that's
and-
30
and-
G's right there. You just saved them.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
30 G's, a
Yeah.
job, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
everything.
you know what's going down. There's different ways. And so, you know, to answer your question, it was done differently back then. And I think that was a lot of respect from the community, from the people that if it was a gangster, that was like, damn, that's a motherfucking OG. It's not happening now.
Yeah, it's
You know what I'm
strange.
saying? Do I like it that the way it happened back then? Like I said, people, you know, that was the way it happened
was
back
the way,
then.
homie.
It,
That
it
was
was
the way.
nothing criminal going on about it. It could have turned out to be, right, if you drop somebody off in fucking the projects and they don't make their way out.
Yeah, that's their problem.
That's a
now.
fucking problem right there.
Like, hey, wait, it's like, wait.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there was different ways to skin a cat to still get a point across and to hopefully help out the person in a different way to see things differently. But yeah, man, fuck yeah, there was always that ego
And
going out.
with that, Deputy, I want to say thank you very much for coming and sharing your story and being so open about it, man. And you know, anybody watching over here, we're here to communicate. This is what we're doing. Again, Villanueva, I'm looking for your ass, homeboy. So with that, homeboy, I want to say we're out and thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
For sure,
Thank
man.
you.